Good electrical plans are absolutely essential to good architecture. But as architects, we're not actually trained at university how to do electrical plans properly. So in today's tutorial, I not only want to showcase the ultimate ArchiCAD template's brand new electrical features, but I'm going to teach you exactly how to put together a professional electrical plan. Are you ready? Let's go. So we're going to start on the electrical legend page straight away and dive into all the symbols and all the 3D objects, which are going to make your life so much easier, but I'll get there in just a minute. So first of all, we have our symbol legend, and I've broken it down into two different colors for me personally. I've spent the last month building out this legend, making sure it's perfect, and I'm still going to be refining it before it goes live to you guys in the first week of March. So let's break it down. Straight away, we have our two colors. You'll see that there's an annotation for orange. Our two-way switch line and our landscape light line here is used as just an indicative. Basically, it's saying that any items that require smart wiring will be shown in orange. And here in Australia, we need to provide a third cable to their outlets, being a neutral wire, to be able to facilitate our smart home systems. However, generally speaking, if it's not a smart electrical appliance, then it's just going to be coded in blue. Now, a lot of these items are industry standards and a lot of these items aren't industry standards because, for example, this D1 LED downlight is using the special purpose outlet US object instead of the typical downlight symbol. And I've got reasons for that. Basically, the more downlights you have, the more 3Ds you do, the more selections you do, it all ties in together. So that's why I code it as D1, D2, D3 to break down the three different types of downlights. You can continue obviously to expand that out to D5, 6, 7, keep going as many as you need. But what will hopefully happen by the time this version goes live is you'll see our 3D objects on the side here. So as an example, if I highlight D1, I've actually imported a custom 3D downlight from Unios. Now, this is a Revit file that I converted to ArchiCAD because they haven't created an ArchiCAD library in a long time, and I've been pushing. Hopefully you guys can push as well to be able to actually get our ArchiCAD libraries back up and running. But what we've done is we've imported the Unios EQ Comfort, which acts as our Type 1 downlight. Now, very generously, one of the Patreon subscribers has offered to convert this D1 symbol so that in this 3D object, it shows as the 2D graphic, which basically means that we're going to be able to use 3D objects with our 2D representation that perfectly aligns. So hopefully by the time this comes out, this 3D objects panel on the left-hand side won't be there at all, and it will only be this symbol legend, which will also be 3D objects for every single item that's applicable. So we also have wall lights from Unios, which are using these little Astro wall lights, as well as a Xeron wall light as well. So we have a couple objects for absolutely everything. I've gone so far as including LED strip lights in 3D objects, and even exhaust fans for typical exhaust systems in the bathrooms. Now again, that 2D object is incorrect. It doesn't match our legend, so we're going to change that 2D representation hopefully very soon. The electrical plan continues with all sorts of goodies like ceiling mounted fans, wall mounted fans, slot exhaust fans, then aircon supply vents, return grills, indoor air core units, outdoor air core units, pendant lights, ceiling fans. Again, I'll mention that this ceiling fan is courtesy of a Patreon member called Sarah, who's done an amazing job building out the ceiling fans. We've got custom two-way switches as graphics, three-way switches as graphics, and dimmer lines as graphics, which I'll get into of how we actually document that in a second. We have our wall switchings with an actual switch. The N itself can be adjusted to change the number of gangs. So if we go 6, we then have a 6 gang light switch, which again, I'll explain in a second. Then motion sensors, single and double GPOs, smoke detectors, thermal detectors, antennas, meter boxes, and the list literally goes on. Now, this is something that we import into every single set of drawings. We keep it on the side of the electrical plan, which allows us to keep moving in our designs quicker and faster. Now, let's get into how you actually detail any of this. Well, let's go to our ground floor and we'll simply just draw a box. We then have our room. Let's call that our room. Perfect. Next, let's jump to our electrical plan, reutilize downlight 1, and for the purpose of this, we'll just place a couple of them randomly in the project. Now, the premise is exactly the same if you're using a downlight, if you're using a batten light, if you're using a wall light, LED strip light, anything in between. How we actually document this is exactly the same. So for the purpose of this, let's use our two-way switch. So we'll hover over that line and we'll start it next to this door. we want to make sure that it's a spline tool line rather than a polyline or a straight line. And then we simply start by clicking once, finding our way to D1, clicking around, finding our way to the next D1 and connecting as many lights as we actually need. So let's say we want to connect all of these 8 lights down the bottom on one switch. We want to have a second two-way switch up here because for whatever reason there might be another door here. So we want to be able to switch on the 2 lights separately. That indicates to anybody reading these plans that the wall switch is here. Then it's connecting all of these lights together on a two-way switch, and then the second two-way switch is over here. The same premise applies if we want to use a single switch. So in that case, instead of using the two-way switch line, we're just using a dashed line. We go ahead and create a spline tool, finish it off, and don't connect that to another wall at all. Now, we can assume in this case that there is 2 gangs here and 1 gang here for the light switches because there's only 1 cable running to the bottom and 2 running to the top. However, we should never assume, because let's say instead of it being just a standard single switch, it's now a dimmable section of lighting. Then we want to come to our legend, find our light switch. Let's just drop that light switch down here and we can change that to 1 because there's only 1 gang on this wall. It's a two-way switch, but there's only 1 switch. We'll adjust our line so it's a little bit cleaner and a little bit nicer to read so that the wires actually come into the 1 and you can tell it's a switch. On the other side where we put our switch, it's not going to be a single. First of all, we have the two-way switch coming here, so that's 1 gang. Then we have to turn on all of these lights for the secondary switch, so that's 2 switches. But here is where you have to get a good understanding of electrical plans. If this is dimmable through a press button, then it's still 2 gang. But if there's a knob that you have to turn and twist to dim all the lights, then it's a 3 gang. So that helps electricians understand what the architects are thinking in terms of the hardware for the electrical schedule as well. Without having to read the annexure or any of your specifications, they can get a pretty good understanding of what needs to occur. Then if we were to move on to our GPOs, let's use a double GPO as an example. We'll just put that on a wall wherever we need it. So let's attach it to the walls. Let's drop as many in as we need. We want to rotate them around to make sure they're facing the wall itself. And there we go. Now we know we have a double GPO on this wall that's 150 millimeters off the ground, another double GPO that's say 500 mil off the ground, and so on. You don't need to provide any wiring to any of the GPOs. Smoke detectors, they go on a ceiling plan instead of a wall plan. So you'll see down the bottom here, I have my electrical ground floor plan and I have my electrical ceiling plan. So this is on the wrong layer, for instance. It should be on the ceiling so that when we're showing a ground floor plan, we're only showing elements on the floor and the walls. And then when we're talking about our reflected ceiling plan, we're then talking about the items on the ceiling itself. So we like to break it apart to make sure there is a wall and floor element and then there's a ceiling element to just make electricians' lives a hell of a lot easier to read the plans, especially considering that they'll do all the ceiling wiring last, whereas they'll do all the ground wiring first. So, we make their life a little bit easier. Otherwise, the same premise applies to everything you've seen here. So you just go ahead, rinse and repeat those same steps until your electrical plans are done. Anyway, that's all from me, team. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you managed to learn something today. If you did, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. And like always, I'll see you next week.